The morning sky over New York turned purple as thousands of alien ships appeared above Earth's major cities. Captain Jack Stone stood at the United Earth Defense Force headquarters, watching the massive vessels block out the sun. His hands gripped the control panel as emergency alarms blared throughout the building. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission. It's broadcasting on all frequencies," said Robert, his young communications officer. The boy's hands shook as he worked the controls. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, gray-skinned creature with 4 eyes. Its voice boomed through the speakers in perfect English. "People of Earth, we are the Stellar Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds, and yours shall be next. Surrender now, and we will make your slavery quick and painless. Resist, and we will turn your oceans to steam." Jack's jaw tightened. He looked around the command center at the frightened faces of his crew. Some were barely out of training, while others had served with him for years. They all waited for his response. "Send them our answer," he said firmly. "Earth doesn't surrender." The next few hours passed in a blur of activity. While the alien ships remained in position, the world's governments scrambled to prepare for war. The United Earth Defense Force mobilized everything they had: missiles, fighter jets, and their few orbital defense platforms. Jack knew it wouldn't be enough against an empire that had conquered thousands of worlds, but humanity would not go quietly. As Jack coordinated Earth's defenses, an urgent message came from the Mars Research Station. "Captain Stone, you need to see this," said Dr. Lewis, the head researcher. "We found something in the Valles Marineris. It looks like... well, it's easier if you see it yourself." The video feed showed a massive door built into the Martian cliff face, covered in strange symbols. "It's been here for thousands of years," Dr. Lewis explained. "We think it's their technology. The Stellar Empires. There's a whole facility inside." "I'm heading there," Jack decided immediately. "Earth needs every advantage we can get." He chose a small team. Himself, Dr. Anna Reed, their top technology expert, and 2 soldiers, Mike and Paul. They boarded the fastest shuttle available, racing against time to reach Mars before the Empire lost its patience. The Mars facility was unlike anything they'd ever seen. Smooth metal corridors stretched for miles underground, filled with dormant machinery. Dr. Reed ran her hand along the wall, watching in amazement as patterns of light followed her touch. "This technology is incredible," she whispered. "But why did they leave it here?" As they explored deeper, they found a large circular room. In its center stood a pillar covered in what looked like handprints. Jack approached it cautiously, his years of experience screaming that this was both dangerous and important. "Captain, I don't think you should," Dr. Reed started to say. But Jack had already placed his hand on the pillar. The entire facility hummed to life. Light coursed through the walls like blood through veins, and a holographic display filled the room. Images flashed around them: star maps, weapon designs, and streams of alien text that somehow Jack could understand. "This is impossible," Dr. Reed said, checking her instruments. "Captain, your neural patterns are interfacing with the system. You're not just activating it. You're improving it. The energy efficiency is increasing by 200% just from your interaction." Before they could process this discovery, an alert sounded from Earth. The Empire had begun its attack. They watched in horror as the alien ships easily destroyed Earth's orbital defenses. But when Jack removed his hand from the pillar, something strange happened. The knowledge stayed with him. "The Empire's ships," he said, his mind racing with new understanding. "They run on neural interfaces. That's why they left this facility. They couldn't use it properly. But we can." Dr. Reed's eyes widened as she understood. Human brains are different, more adaptable, more creative. We don't just activate their technology. We enhance it. Jack quickly shared his discovery with Earth Command. As the Empire's forces descended through the atmosphere, humanity had found its first real advantage. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore. They were fighting with the knowledge that they possessed something unique, something that even their powerful enemies couldn't replicate. The first battle for Earth began over the Pacific Ocean. Empire ships fired energy beams that turned seawater to steam, just as they had threatened. But when they tried to approach the coast, they met unexpected resistance. Human pilots, hastily connected to reverse-engineered neural interfaces, found they could predict and counter the Empire's attack patterns. Every human mind linked to alien tech made it work better, faster, more efficiently than its original designers had thought possible. The Empire's first wave retreated in confusion. Their standard conquest protocols had failed. The humans weren't just resisting, they were adapting. In the Mars facility, Jack and his team worked frantically to understand more of the alien technology. Each discovery revealed new ways that human consciousness could enhance and improve upon the Empire's tools. "They've never seen anything like us," Dr. Reed said as she studied the data. Every other species they conquered either surrendered immediately or fought predictably until they were destroyed. "But humans, we're different," Jack finished. "We don't think like them. We don't fight like them. And now we can use their own technology better than they can." The Empire's commander sent another message, this time sounding less confident. "Your resistance is noteworthy, but it will not save you. We have conquered galaxies. We have burned worlds. You are merely delaying the inevitable." Jack stood before the camera to respond, knowing that humanity's future might depend on his words. "You're wrong," he said simply. "You've never faced humans before. You don't understand what that means. We're not just another species for you to conquer. We're your worst nightmare, an enemy that gets stronger with every attack, that learns from every defeat, that can take your weapons and make them better." He paused, letting his words sink in. "This is your only warning. Leave Earth or discover exactly why humans are different. The choice is yours." The Empire's ships remained in orbit, their commanders surely debating their next move. But humanity didn't wait. All across Earth, people were discovering their unique ability to interface with and improve alien technology. Every hour brought new innovations, new adaptations, new ways to fight back. Jack looked out the window of the Mars facility at the red planet's surface, knowing that this was just the beginning. The universe was about to learn a vital lesson. Humans weren't just another species to be conquered. They were something entirely new, a race that thrived on challenges, that grew stronger in the face of adversity, and that could turn any weapon used against them into their own advantage. The real war was just beginning, and humanity was ready to show the stars exactly what unstoppable meant. The Stellar Empire's ships hung in Earth's orbit like dark clouds before a storm. 3 days had passed since their first attack, and the aliens were clearly confused by humanity's unexpected resistance. In her underground laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Anna Reed worked without rest, studying the data from the Mars facility. "Look at this," she said to her team, pointing at a complex display of neural patterns. "Every time a human interfaces with their technology, the energy output increases. It's like our brains are natural amplifiers for their systems." The lab was filled with pieces of salvaged alien technology from crashed ships during the first battle. Researchers worked day and night, connecting their minds to various devices through makeshift neural interfaces. Each person who linked with the alien tech discovered new ways to improve it. Meanwhile, in orbit, Commander Sam Taylor and 50 other prisoners sat in holding cells aboard an Empire prison ship. The aliens had managed to capture them during ground raids, thinking they could study human neural patterns to understand their advantage. They didn't expect what happened next. Sam lay on his cell's hard bed, feeling the familiar hum of the ship's engines through the metal walls. The neural suppression collar around his neck was meant to keep him docile, but the aliens didn't realize that human minds couldn't be contained so easily. Every time the collar activated, Sam's brain adapted, finding new pathways around the blocked ones. "Ready?" he whispered through the air vent to the cell next to his. Tom Wilson, a former mechanic from Detroit, had spent the last 2 days studying the ship's systems through their neural collars. The aliens had made a crucial mistake. The collars connected prisoners to the ship's network to monitor their brain activity. "Almost there," Tom whispered back. "These systems weren't designed for human minds. Every time they try to suppress us, we learn more about how their technology works." Throughout the prison block, other captured humans had made the same discovery. The more the Empire tried to control their minds, the stronger their understanding of the alien technology grew. It was like trying to hold back water with a net. The human consciousness simply flowed through every gap. Back on Earth, Dr. Reed made a breakthrough. "Captain Stone," she called Jack over the secure line. "I figured out why we can interface with their technology so well. Human brains are constantly creating new neural pathways. We don't just use their tech, we evolve with it. Every interface makes us better at understanding and controlling their systems." Jack was coordinating Earth's defenses from the Mars facility, which they'd turned into their primary research base. "Can we use this to our advantage?" he asked, watching as another wave of Empire ships entered the solar system. "Better than that," Dr. Reed replied excitedly. "We can broadcast it. If we can link enough human minds to their network, we might be able to take control of their entire system." The Empire wasn't idle during this time. They launched raids on major cities, trying to capture more humans for study. But each attack taught humanity more about their weapons and tactics. Earth's defenders adapted with incredible speed, turning the aliens' own technology against them. On the prison ship, Sam felt the change in the engine's vibration. They were moving, probably heading to the Empire's home system for more detailed study of their prisoners. It was time to act. "Now," he whispered into the vent. All across the prison block, humans who had been pretending to be subdued by their neural collars sprang into action. Instead of blocking their thoughts, the collars became conduits for their combined mental energy. Alarms blared throughout the ship as systems began malfunctioning. Doors slid open on their own. Weapons powered down. The ship's artificial gravity flickered as the human prisoners took control, their minds working together through the neural network in ways the Empire had never imagined possible. "We've got bridge access," Tom called out as they fought their way through confused alien guards. Their neural connection to the ship's systems gave them perfect knowledge of its layout and functions. "The Empire's commanders are trying to lock us out, but our minds are adapting faster than their security protocols." Sam reached the bridge first, his mind already merged with the ship's control systems. The alien crew stared in horror as their own technology responded to his commands. "You tried to cage our minds," he told the ship's captain. "But humans don't work that way. We don't break under pressure. We evolve." The news of the prison ship's capture spread quickly. Dr. Reed's team analyzed the data from the event, amazed by how the combined mental energy of the prisoners had overwhelmed the Empire's security systems. "It's beautiful," she said, studying the neural patterns. "When human minds work together through their technology, the potential is virtually limitless." The Empire's response was swift and angry. They launched a full attack on Earth's cities, determined to crush the resistance before more humans could master their technology. But each battle only served to make humanity stronger. Fighter pilots merged with their stolen alien ships, their natural creativity making them far deadlier than the Empire's rigid battle formations. Ground troops wearing salvaged alien armor found they could enhance its capabilities far beyond the original design. Even civilians contributed, their minds linked to defensive systems in ways that made city shields nearly impenetrable. In the Mars facility, Jack watched the battles unfold with growing confidence. "The Empire doesn't understand what they're dealing with," he told Dr. Reed over the comm. "They think technology is about control and dominance. But humans, we see it differently. We don't just use tools. We form relationships with them. We improve them. We imagine new possibilities." Dr. Reed agreed. Every species they've encountered before this either feared technology or saw it as something to be mastered. "We're the first ones to treat it as a partnership." She paused, looking at her latest test results. "Captain, I think we're ready for the next phase. If we can broadcast human neural patterns through their entire network, we could take control of everything." Jack finished. Their ships, their weapons, their entire empire, all improved by human consciousness. The Empire's commanders were facing their first real crisis. Reports flooded in from across their territory of humans, demonstrating impossible abilities with captured technology. The prison ship wasn't an isolated incident. Everywhere humans went, they adapted, improved, and mastered alien systems with frightening speed. The Emperor himself called an emergency council meeting. The massive holographic chamber filled with representatives from all corners of the Empire, many demanding immediate action to contain the human threat, but others had begun to see a different possibility. "These humans," one council member said, "they don't just use our technology. They'd make it better. Perhaps instead of trying to conquer them." But before the council could reach a decision, alarms sounded throughout their capital world. The stolen prison ship had arrived, its human crew now fully merged with its systems. And they weren't alone. Every piece of Empire technology touched by human minds had become a gateway for humanity's unstoppable advancement. The resistance wasn't just beginning. It was about to show the Empire exactly what humans were capable of when pushed to their limits. And in laboratories, battlefields, and captured ships across the galaxy, humanity prepared to demonstrate why they would never be just another conquered species. The universe was about to learn its lesson. Humans weren't bound by the normal rules of evolution and adaptation. They were something entirely new, a species that grew stronger with every challenge, that turned obstacles into opportunities, and that could transform any technology they touched into something greater than its creators had ever imagined. News of the prison ship escape spread through the Empire's detention centers like wildfire. In a massive holding facility on the moon of a gas giant, Tom Wilson paced his cell, teaching fellow prisoners everything he had learned about the Empire's systems. The aliens had stripped them of all technology except the neural suppression collars, not realizing these would become their biggest mistake. "The key is to think differently," Tom explained to the group through the hidden communication network they'd created by tapping into the collar frequencies. They built their technology to be controlled. We need to treat it like it's alive, like it's part of us. In another cell block, a young engineer named Mary had already figured out how to turn her collar into a sensor array. She could feel the movement of every guard, every ship, and every power fluctuation in the facility. The Empire's attempts to suppress human consciousness had instead given them direct access to their systems. "Guards coming," Mary warned through the network. The prisoners immediately fell silent, appearing docile and defeated. The Empire's soldiers walked past, unaware that their captives were slowly taking control of the entire facility. Back on Earth, Dr. Reed worked with Captain Stone to coordinate the growing resistance. The Mars facility had become humanity's primary research center, its ancient alien technology providing insights that helped them understand the Empire's weaknesses. "Their whole society is built on control," Dr. Reed explained during a strategy meeting. "They think spanning galaxies means having absolute power over everything. But human minds don't work that way. We adapt, we improvise, we find new solutions." Reports kept coming in from across Empire space. Every detention center holding humans was becoming a potential rebellion point. The aliens couldn't understand how their prisoners kept breaking free, each escape more creative than the last. In the gas giant facility, Tom's group was ready. Weeks of preparation had led to this moment. "Remember," he told the others through their mental link, "once we start, we'll have exactly 15 minutes before their backup systems kick in. Make them count." Mary gave the signal. All at once, hundreds of human prisoners focused their minds through the neural collars. The facility's lights flickered as human consciousness flooded its systems. Doors slid open. Defense turrets turned on their operators. Even the artificial gravity began responding to human commands. The guards' reaction was panic. They had never seen anything like this. Their weapons stopped working. Their communications went dead, and their own security systems trapped them in their barracks. The humans had turned the entire facility into a weapon. Engineering level secured, Mary reported, leading a group of escaped prisoners to the control center. Tom, you won't believe what we found. They've got a whole fleet of ships docked here. Tom smiled as he reached the facility's main control room. Perfect. Time to show them what happens when you give humans access to your best toys. The Empire's response fleet arrived just in time to watch their prison facility launch every stored vessel, each now crewed by humans who had merged their consciousness with the ship's systems. The battle that followed was unlike anything the Empire had ever experienced. Human-controlled ships moved in ways that should have been impossible, their systems performing far beyond design specifications. The Empire's commanders watched in horror as their own technology was turned against them with devastating effect. This is happening everywhere, a high-ranking Empire official reported to the Council. Every detention center we built to hold them has become a staging ground for their resistance. They're not just escaping, they're taking our ships, our weapons, our technology, and making them better. The Council chamber erupted in argument. Some members demanded immediate, extreme measures to contain the human threat. Others began to question the wisdom of having attacked Earth in the first place. "You don't understand," said an old council member who had studied the reports from Earth. "These humans, they're not just fighting back. They're evolving. Every challenge we present makes them stronger. Every piece of technology we use against them becomes their advantage." In the gas giant facility, now under complete human control, Tom and Mary worked to integrate their captured ships into Earth's growing resistance fleet. The neural interface systems they'd developed were far more sophisticated than the Empire's original designs. "Look at these readings," Mary said, showing Tom the data from their improved systems. "We're not just controlling these ships, we're communicating with them. It's like the technology itself is evolving alongside us." The Empire's greatest scientists struggled to understand what was happening. Their studies showed that human neural patterns were unlike anything they'd encountered in thousands of years of galactic conquest. Where other species saw limits, humans saw possibilities. Where others reached barriers, humans found new paths. Dr. Reed's team on Mars made another breakthrough during this time. The Empire's entire network is based on the same principles as these neural interfaces, she told Captain Stone. "If we can broadcast human neural patterns across their full system, we could take control of everything," Jack finished, understanding the implications, not just individual ships or facilities, but their entire infrastructure. The news of facility after facility falling to human control sent shockwaves through the Empire. Their supposedly secure detention centers had become launch points for a resistance that grew stronger every day. Ships that had once belonged to the Empire now flew under human control, their capabilities enhanced beyond their original designs. In the council chamber, the debate reached a fever pitch. "We must strike now, before they grow too powerful," one faction demanded. "You fool," another counselor responded. "Look at the pattern. Every attack makes them stronger. Every technology we use against them becomes their weapon. We're not fighting a primitive species. We're fighting something we've never seen before." Tom stood on the bridge of his captured ship, watching as more freed humans arrived from other detention centers. Each group brought new innovations, new ways of improving the Empire's technology. What had started as a prison break had become a full-scale revolution. "They thought they could contain us," he told his crew as they prepared to join Earth's growing fleet. "They thought these neural collars would keep us under control. Instead, they gave us exactly what we needed to fight back." Mary worked at her console, her mind merged with the ship's systems in ways the Empire had never imagined possible. "Their mistake," she said, "was thinking technology was about dominance. We showed them it's about growth, about partnership, about finding new possibilities." The Empire's worst nightmare was becoming reality. Their attempts to study and control humanity had given their prisoners unprecedented access to advanced technology. And humans, with their unique ability to adapt and improve everything they touched, had turned that opportunity into a revolution that threatened the Empire's very foundations. As their stolen fleet prepared to join Earth's forces, Tom looked out at the gas giants' swirling storms. The Empire had meant to break humanity's spirit in these prison facilities. Instead, they had created the perfect conditions for humanity to demonstrate why they were truly unstoppable. The Empire's supreme commander stood on the bridge of his massive flagship, watching as 10,000 warships gathered for their final assault on Earth. His 4 eyes narrowed as reports came in about more prison facilities falling to human control. The Empire had never faced such a threat in its 10,000 years of existence. "Launch the attack," he ordered. "We will end this human resistance once and for all." On Earth, Dr. Reed worked frantically in the Mars facility, surrounded by screens showing the approaching Empire fleet. Captain Stone stood beside her, coordinating with their own forces, a mix of Earth ships and captured Empire vessels, all enhanced by human neural interfaces. "The broadcast system is ready," Dr. Reed said, checking the final connections. "If this works, we'll be able to send human neural patterns through their entire network. Every piece of Empire technology will feel our influence." Jack looked at the massive fleet approaching Earth. "How many humans do we need to make this work?" "Thousands," she replied. "Maybe tens of thousands. And they'll all need to focus their thoughts at exactly the same time. We've never tried anything on this scale." The call went out across Earth and all the liberated prison facilities. Every human who had learned to interface with Empire technology was needed. Tom Wilson and Mary led a fleet of stolen ships toward Earth, gathering more freed prisoners along the way. "This is it," Tom told his crew. "Everything we learned in those prison cells, every trick we figured out for controlling their systems, it all leads to this moment." The Empire's attack began with a massive energy barrage that lit up Earth's atmosphere. But humanity was ready. The defensive shields around major cities, now enhanced by human neural patterns, held strong. Empire weapons that should have turned oceans to steam barely caused ripples on the surface. "Impossible," the Supreme Commander muttered as the reports came in. "Our weapons are operating at full power. How are they resisting?" The answer came in the form of Earth's counterattack. Ships piloted by humans moved in ways that defied the Empire's understanding of their own technology. Where Empire pilots thought in straight lines and standard tactics, humans thought in curves, in 3 dimensions, in possibilities that had never been explored. "Their neural patterns," an Empire scientist reported, panic in his voice. "They're not just controlling our systems anymore. They're changing them, improving them, making them do things we never designed them to do." In the Mars facility, Dr. Reed initiated the broadcast sequence. "Everyone ready?" she asked over the global communication network. "Remember, we need perfect synchronization. Think of it like a concert, thousands of minds playing the same song." Across Earth and space, humans connected to Empire technology prepared themselves. They had practiced this, learned to focus their thoughts in exactly the right way. The Empire had tried to suppress human consciousness, never realizing they were teaching humans exactly how their neural networks functioned. "Now," Dr. Reed commanded. In that moment, thousands of human minds projected their thoughts through the Empire's communication network. The effect was immediate and devastating. Empire ships suddenly lost power as their systems responded to human neural patterns. Weapons turned themselves off. Navigation systems reset themselves. The Supreme Commander watched in horror as his mighty fleet began to drift aimlessly in space. "What's happening?" he demanded. "The humans," his chief scientist explained, terror in his voice. "Their neural patterns, they're everywhere. In our ships, our weapons, our communication systems. They've turned our entire network into a conduit for their consciousness." On Earth, Dr. Reed monitored the results with growing excitement. "It's working. Their whole system is accepting our neural patterns as priority commands. Humanity's natural creativity and adaptability is overwhelming their rigid control protocols." The Empire's response was chaos. Some ships tried to retreat, only to find their engines wouldn't respond. Others attempted to fire their weapons, but the targeting systems had been completely overridden by human consciousness. The mighty armada that had conquered 1,000 worlds was now helpless in space. 3 months after the great battle above Earth, the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The Empire's Supreme Commander stood in the new Galactic Council chamber, watching as humans and aliens worked together, their minds linked through the improved neural network that now spanned known space. "I still don't fully understand how they did it," he said to his chief scientist. "How do they turn our weapons of control into tools of cooperation?" On the council chamber's main floor, Dr. Reed was demonstrating the latest improvements to the neural interface system. The technology that once suppressed thoughts now enhanced them, allowing species from across the galaxy to share ideas and innovations directly through the network. The key was never about power or control, she explained to the gathered representatives. It was about adaptation, about growing together. Humans didn't just resist the Empire's technology. We showed it a better way to work. Captain Jack Stone, now serving as Earth's primary representative to the new Galactic Coalition, watched from his position at the council table. The chamber itself was a testament to how much had changed. Built using the enhanced technology, it could adapt to the needs of any species, making everyone feel equally at home. The old Empire tried to force the galaxy into a single pattern. Jack addressed the council. They saw differences as weaknesses to be eliminated. We've shown that differences are strengths to be celebrated. Each species brings new ways of thinking, new possibilities to explore. Tom Wilson and Mary have become leaders in the Technology Integration Program, teaching others how to work with the enhanced systems. The lessons they learned in the prison cells had become the foundation for a new way of using technology. "Watch this," Mary said to a group of alien students, her mind merging with a nearby console. The system responded not just to her commands, but to her creativity, her imagination. The display showed possibilities that the original designers had never conceived. Human minds adapt naturally, Tom explained as the students practiced. "We don't just use tools, we form relationships with them, improve them, help them grow. Now we're teaching the rest of the galaxy to do the same." In the Mars facility, now the primary research center for the Coalition, humans and aliens worked side by side. The ancient technology they had discovered there had become a bridge between species, showing them all new ways to work together. Each species sees things differently, Dr. Reed told a visiting group of Empire scientists. "Humans are good at adaptation and creativity. Your people excel at building stable, lasting systems. Others bring different strengths. Together, we're all becoming something greater than we could have been alone." 3 months after the great battle above Earth, the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The Empire's Supreme Commander stood in the new Galactic Council chamber, watching as humans and aliens worked together, their minds linked through the improved neural network that now spanned known space. "I still don't fully understand how they did it," he said to his chief scientist. "How did they turn our weapons of control into tools of cooperation?" On the council chamber's main floor, Dr. Reed was demonstrating the latest improvements to the neural interface system. The technology that once suppressed thoughts now enhanced them, allowing species from across the galaxy to share ideas and innovations directly through the network. The key was never about power or control, she explained to the gathered representatives. It was about adaptation, about growing together. Humans didn't just resist the Empire's technology. We showed it a better way to work. Captain Jack Stone, now serving as Earth's primary representative to the new Galactic Coalition, watched from his position at the council table. The chamber itself was a testament to how much had changed. Built using the enhanced technology, it could adapt to the needs of any species, making everyone feel equally at home. The old Empire tried to force the galaxy into a single pattern. Jack addressed the council. They saw differences as weaknesses to be eliminated. We've shown that differences are strengths to be celebrated. Each species brings new ways of thinking, new possibilities to explore. Tom Wilson and Mary have become leaders in the technology integration program, teaching others how to work with the enhanced systems. The lessons they learned in the prison cells had become the foundation for a new way of using technology. "Watch this," Mary said to a group of alien students, her mind merging with a nearby console. The system responded not just to her commands, but to her creativity, her imagination. The display showed possibilities that the original designers had never conceived. "Human minds adapt naturally," Tom explained as the students practiced. "We don't just use tools, we form relationships with them, improve them, help them grow." Now we're teaching the rest of the galaxy to do the same. In the Mars facility, now the primary research center for the coalition, humans and aliens worked side by side. The ancient technology they had discovered there had become a bridge between species, showing them all new ways to work together. Each species sees things differently, Dr. Reed told a visiting group of Empire scientists. "Humans are good at adaptation and creativity. Your people excel at building stable, lasting systems. Others bring different strengths. Together, we're all becoming something greater than we could have been alone." The Supreme Commander had undergone perhaps the greatest transformation of all. Where once he saw only the need for control and dominance, now he understood the power of cooperation and growth. He watched as his own people learned to interface with technology in new ways, their rigid thinking patterns gradually becoming more flexible. "We spent thousands of years conquering," he said during a council session. "We thought that was the only way to create order in the galaxy. Humans showed us that true order comes from working together, from combining our strengths rather than imposing our will." The changes spread far beyond technology. Trade routes that once carried weapons and slaves now transported ideas and innovations. Planets that had been prison worlds became centers of learning and cooperation. The Empire's neural suppression collars were reformed into communication devices that helped different species understand each other better. "Look at what we've built together," Jack said, standing at the Mars facility's observation deck with Dr. Reed. Below them, ships from 100 worlds moved in perfect harmony, their crews linked through the enhanced neural network. "They tried to break us, and instead we transformed their entire civilization. That's what humans do best," Dr. Reed replied. "We don't just overcome obstacles, we turn them into opportunities. The Empire gave us their technology thinking it would control us. Instead, we showed them how much more it could be." In the former Empire's central archives, a new entry was being written. The archivists, their minds now open to new possibilities through the neural network, struggled to find the right words to describe humanity's impact on the galaxy. "They are not conquerors," the entry began, "though they could have been. They are not rulers, though they had the power to rule. Humans are catalysts. They change everything they touch, not by force but by showing new possibilities. Their greatest strength is not in their ability to fight, but in their power to transform, to adapt, and to help others grow." The entry continued. "The day the Empire tried to conquer Earth became the day the universe learned its greatest lesson. True power lies not in control, but in cooperation. Real strength comes not from domination, but from adaptation. The humans didn't just defeat us, they made us better." Tom and Mary, leading a deep space expedition to explore unknown regions, reflected on how much had changed. Their ship's crew included members of 20 different species, all working together through the neural network that humans had helped evolve. "Remember when they thought these neural interfaces would keep us prisoner?" Mary asked, her mind linked with both the ship and her crewmates. "Now they're the things that set everyone free." "That's because we saw what they could really be," Tom replied. "Not tools of control, but bridges between minds, between species, between different ways of thinking." Back in the council chamber, Jack addressed representatives from across known space. "A year ago, the Empire thought they could break humanity's spirit. They didn't understand that humans don't break. We transform. We adapt. We grow. And now we're helping the entire galaxy do the same. Dr. Reed's team had made another breakthrough, finding ways to extend the neural network's range even further. Each improvement comes from cooperation, she explained to the council. Humans provide the creativity, other species add their own strengths, and together we keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The Supreme Commander, watching Earth's blue oceans from orbit, finally understood the full scale of what had happened. His empire had tried to add one more species to its list of conquests. Instead, they had encountered something entirely new, a race that could take any challenge, any obstacle, any attempt to control them, and transform it into an opportunity for growth. The day the universe realized humans were unstoppable, he mused, was not the day they defeated us. It was the day they showed us that victory doesn't have to mean defeat for others. They taught us that true power lies in lifting each other up, not in pushing others down. As ships from across the galaxy moved peacefully through space, their crews linked in cooperation rather than competition. The truth became clear. Humanity's greatest strength was not in their ability to resist control, but in their power to show others a better way forward. They had taken an empire built on dominance and transformed it into a coalition founded on cooperation, proving that the most unstoppable force in the universe was not the power to destroy, but the ability to transform and improve everything they touched.